come with me on a day's trip to Auckland. Okay, so you may think Auckland is the capital of New Zealand. I hate to break it to you, it's not. Wellington is. Wellington is the capital of New Zealand, and I am based in Wellington. This is where the government resides. This is the political capital, as well as the cultural capital, at least so they say. But I feel like a lot of culture happens up in Auckland simply because almost a quarter of population lives there. There are a lot of immigrants there. And I keep traveling to Auckland largely for business. It's never for pleasure, although I have been told that I should just book up a holiday in Auckland. But that honestly never happens. And the reason for my travel this time is just going to further upset my friends, and they're going to give me so much shit about it. So last year, I gave a miss to so many concerts, right? Travis Scott, Dua Lipa, Trevor Noah, so many things. But this year, I decided to switch it up for another event. It all started with literally this last email reminder to register for the event by this lady called Zaria Parvez, who is the social media manager for Duolingo. And I registered just the week before the event. And the whole trip cost me about $1,000, and I'll tell you whether it's worth it or not and why I decided to spend so much. Duolingo is Duolingo. I mean, if you don't know about Duolingo, then I encourage you to go look it up, okay? But they have been on a heater, social media heater, for the last 4 to 5 years, and it's all because of Zaria and the team behind. Their marketing is crazy. It's always on brand, and simply they're such a great contemporary culture's case study on just how pure content and internet works. I had been obviously keeping a tab of Zaria and the work that they do like many years ago, but TikTok got banned in India, so I used to keep a tab on her and case studies through LinkedIn, and for the longest time I wanted to go meet her. I have massive respect for social media girlies like Zaria. Born to immigrant parents, she built her way up in the States and now leads such a great team that is doing such fantastic work. So obviously I would steal a chance to go see her, right? So off I decided to go. Oh, my hair isn't hairing well. Oh, but anyways, I'm going. It was going to be a quick in and out trip, so I want to be super comfortable. Therefore, I wore a white shirt, which I love a lot, and my comfy denims, wide-legged. It's an early start for the day. It's still 6:30, 7 a.m. I typically start my day with a little bit of prayer. Not really a prayer, but just saying thanks to the Lord. Because to be honest, I'm so getting used to stretching my comfort zones a little bit, putting myself out there where I'm forced to learn things and adapt. And internet is changing so much, and it's so difficult to keep abreast on all the tips and tricks. And today's trip is just going to be keeping a tab on everything that's new and brewing, which I don't know about. Getting a little bit of banana to get going. I do that with warm water, just helps me wake up slowly. And an apple for always the journey. I kept it catch, and I'm ditching stilettos for comfy shoes. I'm honestly in that phase where I couldn't care less. It's so cloudy. Wellington weather is so gloomy some days. Aucklanders and Wellingtoners generally have a beef. Aucklanders hate Wellington weather simply because it's so unpredictable. And yeah, I think it is. But I have really come to enjoy Wellington a little bit, especially the pace of life and the people. They seem to be sweeter, like my Uber driver. He was the best ensuring I land on time because I think I was a little bit late. But funnily, guess what? I arrived half an hour in advance, which is record for me. I feel like I'm growing up day by day because I'm always generally late. But when I'm left on my own, to be honest, I make it on time everywhere. And of course, the flight was just a little bit delayed. So get some music going on for the road, plus some Beyonce. I think I feel like this. It's just a cozy morning today.
Dark skin, light skin, beige, fluorescent beige, bitch.
Because it's a cozy morning, I thought I'll have a cozy read. I'm rereading Atomic Habits. I do that from time to time. But funnily, I couldn't get any reading done because I had the most interesting passenger sitting on my right. You will soon have a glimpse of this interesting passenger who made my journey special.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I don't know why do some people hate on kids, but to be honest, they light up my flights. like this one on my right. I just said hi and he was hooked to me till the end. Kids these days are so interesting and so smart. He was a third culture kid, part Hawaiian, part American, part Kiwi, which is most of us, anyways. We're all mixed culture people at this point. Said bye to my little co-passenger and landed on the side because I was just so paranoid about being late. There's still an hour to kill and I'm so hungry, so I'm gonna go and get some food and fuel up for the rest of the afternoon. I am in Purnell, which is a posh neighborhood generally, but man, why are there so many hills? I thought it was a Wellington thing, but it's not apparently. Auckland is hilly too in parts. Fueled up with burger fuel, and I was worried I'll spoil my shirt because I'm not good with whites. I'm very clumsy like that. But look at me, I'm still clean. Damn. This was a workshop hosted by Marketing Association. A huge shout out to them for making it happen for me because they supported me a lot, especially because I was flying down all the way for it. And look at this, it's such a cool thing in their washroom. Surround yourself with people that matter. I was surrounded by powerful marketing girlies who were taking over because there were just two men in the room. It was a full day workshop, and the key takeaway for me was this concept of unhinged marketing, which is essentially just be unhinged. I think America is the capital of capitalism for a reason. The way they build things and the speed at which they build things is just insane. But I'm glad the rest of the world is kind of experimenting too, and their startups popping off everywhere. Like this brand that I came across, it's called No Ugly, and they do drinks that are super offbeat. I don't even know, like they're energy drinks but almost not like energy drinks. This one had probiotics and antioxidants, so it's so cool to just see the stuff that people are building in the world. Then I got to hear from Zaria herself. Here's a message for you.
Guys, so this is Saria.
Hello.
I didn't go to a Travis Scott concert, but I came to attend her workshop. Do you have any message for the girlies out there just making it?
My biggest lesson or message is to always press the red button and do whatever will piss everyone off.
I didn't expect that. But thank you. Thank you so much for everything that you do and keep pushing.
Say less.
Bye.
By 7:30, I was on my flight again and we were slightly delayed. But hey, that gave me a debrief time to think about everything that I learned today. Think so many times we just overthink everything, overthink our content, ideas, relationships. But I've realized that clarity comes from movement, clarity comes from doing things. You're not going to get everything right, but sometimes you might just get one thing right. And maybe that's enough. So keep the pen moving, keep going. Couldn't wait to get back in my flip-flops. I am done for the day. The workshop was totally worth it, totally worth the spend. Gonna slip into my robe, take a nice hot shower and call it a day. It's 10:30. Until I see you again, bye-bye. Energy to all of you.
Okay, postscript. I feel like I missed covering the most important aspect of the whole workshop, whether it was worth the spend or not, because I got busy in taking you through my day of the travel. I feel like it was worth it. The workshop costed me about $600. Flight tickets, Uber, and food another $400 roundabout. And I think it was a pretty steep thing just for a day's trip from maybe 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., that kind of stuff. It was personally worth it for me because I got to learn some key hacks that they use. What I like, I'll tell you what I like and I didn't like about the workshop, right? Like the pros and cons to just give you a fair viewpoint. I think the pros are the fact that Zaria is pretty honest and she's pretty candid when she speaks. So she gives you a great window into the back end process of what it takes to produce that kind of content, is what it takes to have that kind of brand voice or tone. The fact that they have multiple accounts just studying people's behavior, the patterns in which they scroll is insane. So they're clearly obsessed with the process of content creation, right? Which is fantastic to know about. What I also liked is the fact that she had interesting, exercises. Like one of the brand exercises that I got to do was writing a eulogy for your favorite brand. I chose Victoria's Secret because it's been a brand that has been around the corner for the longest time. It's something that I know personally of, and it has been challenged by contemporary players like Fenty and stuff like that. So it was interesting for me to write the brand eulogy because I thought about all the times when it was a legendary brand, fashion shows were on there, celebrities were making headlines, and then how they failed to adapt to plus-sized women and how their entire diversity game sort of went off the rail. So what that exercise preempted us to think was, what happens if instead of thinking about the intro stage, the maturity stage, you start straight thinking about decline. Like, what happens if you start preempting what the users are going to hate? What happens if you start preempting if your followers are going to ever cancel you? And that's what happens with a lot of creators too, right? Like, a lot of them can't preempt the fact that they can ever do something wrong. So in that process of never preempting their own death as a personality, they end up doing some stupid shit, right? So that was a pretty cool exercise for me to do and to think about and follow on later in my work. So yeah, those were the kind of stuff that I really enjoyed, having not complete, like at least a large window into the planning process behind the scenes of Duolingo. And second is just practical exercises to test some of those things. What I think would be personally better is that with a lot of these workshops, you have to make deliberate attempt to practice these learnings day to day in your work, right? You can't just take it one time and forget about it. Like, you have to implement those learnings. So I would have loved to have like sort of a handbook or something, like something that encourages me to keep a track of my progress after the workshop. It's just one of the things that I personally like to do, but I've anyways built like a personal dashboard to practice some of the things that I learned on the workshop, and I'll hopefully get better at this. One of the reasons why I am also personally putting some of my content on YouTube is post the workshop. I always had this feeling about long format content. I think it comes from the personal fact that I was overwhelmed always by short form content, like 30-second, 40-second content. So I always felt like I could never fit into that mold or that bracket. So even on my LinkedIn profile, I've always been just talking about long format stuff, right? Because it helps me to touch a topic, dive deep into it, and then get out of it, right? In terms of a thematic, that's the kind of pace that I work with. I don't like getting addicted to quick, short, snappy stuff. Although it's super addictive, I don't think as a person who creates something, I'm meant for that kind of game. So I've always had this inclination, natural inclination towards long format stuff. And post attending the workshop, I got to study a little bit more about YouTube Shorts, YouTube, and the big content play that's happening. But the most important takeaway was the fact that everything is changing and you never know what's coming next, right? But what helps is to just being open to different platforms, is to just study people's behavior. Like, one of the things that Zaria said is that she doesn't necessarily study content. She doesn't necessarily study people's content consumption habits. She studies culture. She studies things that are outside of the internet, things that are happening IRL. So just keeping a pulse on those things, I think, takes you far. So yeah, all in all, worth the spend for me personally, worth the trouble of going to Auckland for a day and coming back. If you are planning to attend the workshop, then I would recommend it. Give it a go, see how it feels, and let me know about it. If there's anything else that you're learning or did you try recently, then please let me know about that too. I will be back to you soon again. Until then, don't forget to keep hustling. See ya. Bye-bye.